Okay, what is happening, gamesters? We are back with finally with our Maya the Siren Borderlands 2 playthrough. Carrying on with this today. The last time we went through, we met Lilith the Firehawk, did Frostburn Canyon, and we made it out here to the Dust. Our intention is to catch up to the leader of the Crimson Raiders, Roland, who's been taken prisoner by a group of raiders called the Bloodshots. He's being held up in a place called Bloodshot Stronghold, and we are now going to speak with Ellie, who is Scooter's sister, and we are trying to track down a vehicle which we can use as a disguise to get into the Bloodshot Stronghold. So at the moment I don't need to speak to Ellie, I need to go and harvest some car parts, so we need to go and take out these bandits. Which I have to confess, I have always been pretty bad at the vehicular combat in Borderlands games. But we're off to an okay start. Get out of the way. Right. We're gonna hit the boost button this time, and it's gonna work first try. Yes. We're making progress. Relearning the game. Okay. You're not going anywhere. Nice. 2 more to go.
Almost got a bandit pump. Roland can handle whatever the Bloodshots dish out, but I generally don't like letting them.
So at this point of the game, we have this sort of deserty area, and this area up here that I'm looking at, a lot of people when they do their Borderlands playthroughs don't necessarily go up there for much. There's a couple of side quests that will take you there, but when we go to save Roland, most people will save him at the first proper opportunity the game gives you, but they actually wrote into the game that if you failed that for some reason, if you weren't quick enough saving Roland, then he actually gets transported over to a base that's just up the hill from us here, and then you have to fight through that area as well to actually get him back. So I'm going to do that today because it's just a little bit different. There we go, some car parts in the pocket. Let's head on back. The vibe and the theme of so many of the just different areas in the game, like they're simple. A lot of them aren't over the top. This is a wasteland filled with trash and just some little encampments everywhere, but the music and the color palette they went for, they do a good job of just making a nice cohesive little area. Oh, is this going to be the one we want? Nope, still not that one. Still looking for this Easter egg box, which the game sometimes gives you, which is it's a 7 Easter egg, and it gives you a slag burn gun, which is called Gwen's Head, which obviously, if you know the 7 movie, Gwen's head being in the box is the kind of peak of the film. I don't need anything else much for the moment. Oh, actually, just looking at my my gun there as well. Let me just talk to Ellie.
Got your car ready over there. Let's make some
And then on the drive, I'll tell you something about this. Let's just slap these parts on.
All right, looking good. Now we just gotta get in the capture ride system.
Ellie's a good fun character. I think she's a good addition to the sort of primary roster of characters in the Borderlands universe. She's carried on into the next set of games, and hopefully she will still be around for some time. Right. So let's grab one of those. And oh, go on, let us say your piece.
Get back to the Bloodshot Dam and try honking your way in again.
Will do. I'm gonna try and sneak into my menu here for something else as well. So when the last session I did on this, I knew that was going to happen. The Flight of the Valkyries being sung by the pilot of the Buzzards is a hilarious little addition. I guess in some way it's just, you know, that's another kind of Easter egg. The game is just absolutely jam-packed with Easter eggs. No other game even comes close to the amount of effort and small little bits and pieces that were put in this game. Right, let me just, while I'm just thinking about this. So the last time, let's jump out. The last time we played, I picked up this SMG that I'm currently holding called the Lasco. And when I started reciting what I had in my head as to its namesake, I thought to myself, Lasco is not Spanish. That definitely sounds more French to me. And so I actually had a bit of a look what Lasco was, and I assume what the real origin for the name is, like the false one of it being some word to do with donkey, was something that I've parroted back from some YouTuber, you know, at the time the game was released, some nonsense they came out with. But the actual name appears to be attached to a group of caves in France called the Lascaux Caves, and I assume that's why we find this gun in a cave system. And it's actually a very significant human ancestral site because it's got lots of cave paintings. They're caves absolutely filled with different animal paintings. And from the internet, like, I had a bit of a sift through, and it's a bit unclear. It's something between 100 to up to 6,000 different animal depictions in this cave system. And it was very popular after World War II, but because of the addition of too many humans visiting and sightseeing and breathing, it was ruining the paintings. It was affecting them. So I don't think you can go internally anymore. But there's paintings depicted in there. There's horses, mammoths, oxen, bison, ibis, and then I think a few other animals. There is only one human, which is a person with a bird head, and we'll say that he's standing at salute. But I've realized I always thought this was just a brown camo SMG, but if you look at it, this is actually a picture of the cave paintings. So you can kind of see on the barrel there, that's a horse. Like, this is actually the picture of one of the actual paintings in the cave, and they've used it as a wrap for the gun, which I hadn't seen before this very moment, because I had that suspicion once I'd seen pictures of the caves, and thought I would check it out. But I found that very interesting. I don't want to be one of those people that, like the person who I got that poor information from, I don't want to be one of those people on the internet who's just spouting nonsense. I like to actually have some idea what I'm talking about, so I just thought I'd have a bit of a look, and I found that pretty interesting. Once again is an example of the amounts of Easter eggs and incredible little nuggets of care that have been put into this game. Just something like that, where someone's, you know, gone through the process of actually putting an item like that in the game, and here we are however many years later, and an idiot like me is discovering how cool that is. Right, and now we've done some nerdy talk about a gun. Let's just spray bullets all over these nasties. Nope. Interesting thing about this boss we're about to meet here, Badmore, excuse me. I don't know why the change was made, but this was one of the first characters that was revealed in, I think, the first or second of the Borderlands 2 trailers. And it's very odd, because when he swings his little shield forward here, and he's got his little midget friends on, the initial showing of that, which I think it's the very first trailer that for Borderlands 2, which was the Wimmelway trailer, and they did they did a little rendition of the Wimmelway, and they were going through the wildlife variation that had been added to the game and the new kind of areas and all the rest of it. And when Badmore shows in that trailer, his little midget friends on his shield are dancing backward and forward, sort of doing this to the music. And I always found it strange that for some reason they weren't dancing when he shows them in the game. I suppose it's something they added just for the trailer, but I'd have thought if you had that, it would have made more sense for them to be kind of his merry midgets and sort of dancing on his shield rather than not. But there's another vault symbol there, and I think there is a tasty little loot box just behind this other little shanty bit in front of me. There we go. Take those. Nothing too special, but that's all the more loot for the taking. Like, very, very cool. Like, specifically designed. This is something that in a number of the Borderlands games, they seem to have fun with creating faces out of the geometry and like doorways and on bases and that. Always pretty cool just to have that sort of menacing vibe. Have a little slurp.
You're in? Great. Roland should be around here somewhere. I'm sure you can handle yourself, but if anything happens to Roland, make sure nothing happens to Roland.
I still can't believe that I've been running around with this gun like on and off for years, and I just thought it was just a random brown camouflage pattern, and it's actually ancient historical cave paintings.
High quality, low prices.
Very cool.
No questions asked.
I'm going to keep that, ditch that. I'm not going to use that anymore. I'll probably just down myself.
Don't die.
That'll do fine. I will try not to die. I'm not going to say anything about my level of success. Here we go, splishy splashy. For sort of a cel-shaded, cartoony, comic booky looking game, the first time round, I was sort of stunned by the way the water looks like just fit into this setting, because the water is sort of a fairly standard water. At the time, it looked it was a good quality water for what other games were doing, like these sort of liquids and things. A lot of these we didn't really have on console, so it was more rudimentary than what you see there, but in trailers and other things you could see what that was actually meant to look like. Even these fabrics, all of this was taken out. None of this was on the original console versions. They just couldn't, you know, the processing just wasn't there. The changeover had really started by that point. Initially, consoles were king when it came to games because it was a dedicated system and everything was optimized. You could get a lot more out of a console to make games all they could be, and there was no sort of competition when you were changing over to the original NES and Master System sort of era, and then into the SNES and Mega Drives. That's when consoles really were flexing their muscles. But then over the course of time, things have changed to the extent where, you know, consoles now are more of a margin, like minimized system rather than, you know, the standout for games. And that's kind of strange. I feel like there should still be room for things to work that way. But I mean, I guess people got to take a big hit on the manufacturing of a system that would be powerful enough and specific enough, and so it's just not worth people's bother.
Shut up!
That'll be too boring. I look sticking with that all the time. That is so slow. Changed my settings last time as well. At the basically the maximum speed I can go. I think maybe I can add a little bit more to my horizontal. Maybe I'll have to do that. Alright, now we're just going to cheat and use the last go. Or reload and die.
Out of ammo!
Or that! Even better! Oh. Classic arrow. Whoopsie. Let's be lazy and just buy some ammo. What? You say I've got ammo? I'm gonna be out of ammo for my SMG. Let's see if I can do that little adjust on the controller. I mean, it's going to help a little bit, but it might feel a little bit wonky now having both my axes quite the same. With the smaller FOV vertical over horizontal, I do think it is better to have that little bit of a reduction just because your brain is not able to take the information in the same way when you have a smaller window to take your guesswork from. Which is why that feels funny. Cover you with lots of horsey cave painting drawings. Yeah, I still do think that this is meant to be a sort of horsey shape. Well, not on that wall, but I don't know if it's worth me going down here yet. There's mission things that take you down here at a later stage, down into that direction. No, the door's closed, so I guess that's a wait until the time is right. But if I don't do it in this playthrough, there is a very cool, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle quest down there, where you go and take out some enemies that are pretending to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there's some loot that you can get from that. I feel like there's a grenade called the Stormfront, which is a electricity grenade that's pretty cool. And that is a legendary rather than a blue with red flavor text. Let's clear this guy out. And then should we might level up in a second. Let's grenade myself, why not?
So, who's next?
Definitely feel wonky with my control changes, but I mean, who thinks this looks like a 10-speed camera speed? Like, ugh. Certainly what we should consider the maximum. Just do my laundry quickly. I'm in no rush. Let's clear out these last few, and then I'll do my upgrade. Get the money. Have one of those.
That must have hurt.
And everyone's dead. Got no red dots on the radar, so that's hopefully okay. And we are going to go... Oh, that's right, immolate, and I think it was this one we liked. So that's going to... when I do my phase lock ability to grab my enemies now, that is going to also add an incendiary burning effect to them. or like do like a little explosion or something. That's pretty cool. Just make that a little bit more effective. The ability to grab the enemies is a bit more passive than not. We've got to try and do a 360 across the whirlpool. If we can get up the stair. Ah! Ooh. Stunts. Have you ever seen anyone do it with so much style? That's the thing. You'll see people playing games, but... Yup. Oh, the reloads. Yes. Yes, 730 art. Wonder who that could be. Stormfront, very good.
Look out! Badass!
Yeah, if there's the opportunity, I may go for the Stormfront at some point. Maybe do a little bit of farming. Let's see, a tad under-leveled here. The game does do a pretty good job of trying to keep you in line with where things should be. So at this point in the story, I probably should have done a little bit of side questing to just bring my level up a little bit. The game expects you to have the common sense to do that. Sadly, for the designers at Gearbox, I have no such common sense, so I'm just going to try and push myself through the meat grinder. But with the Lasco in my pocket, that hopefully will be not too much of an issue. So slow getting out. Him. So a number of the characters in this game, I think it was said by one of the game's developers at one point that they really liked the mechanic of the shields that they use in Halo games, where you have to do the little shoot them in the hand or shoot something you can see to sort of stun the enemy, which is good. It's a great little mechanic within the gunplay just to add more depth to what you're doing, to you know, just so you're not just spraying all the same time, you're not always aiming for headshots. You know, you want those sorts of things in game design to give that level of variation to the player, and it adds a bit more excitement, a little bit more reason to be paying a bit of attention, be focused with the game. Hey guys, I just want to pop to the toilet. You're not listening.
I'm back, bitches! Hold it right there!
The boss held up in the air while I get rid of some of his cohorts. And I suppose I should probably pay attention what I do with him, as I was literally just saying about being focused. I'll run myself real low now. That's almost all my SMG ammo gone. Hey Mike, just hold that thought while I go to the bathroom. That's right, you fire explosives. Get as close as I can, hopefully get a few crits in here and might... Oh no, we're not going to get enough. Not going to get enough. Right. Let's get through this. Let's not waste loads of time, keep wiping. We're going to be procrastinating at the very end bit, just to get Roland to that alternate location. So I don't think that that's like ages. I'm hoping it doesn't mean we've got to stand around for too long, but it may require standing around for a little bit. But I'm sure I can think of something really interesting or uninteresting to talk your ear off for a few moments while we wait on that one. There you go, Mike. Right tool for the job. The other weapons I had, I think you can very clearly see the performance difference between this blue weapon with the red flavor text versus just a couple other guns in my pocket at the moment. Really does make a difference. It really does count in this game, and it works towards the balance and everything. And it's just no. That's interesting. I think he threw me into the lightning there, but then because I got in the lightning, it arced off of me and then set him on fire. Lesson learned, Psycho. Lesson learned. Not used to this, using this ability that much. It is more passive than I often go for ults. So knowing I've got the explosion on there as well will be helpful. I need to now get in the rhythm of knowing what her timing is so that I can keep popping it and utilising it as best as I can. It's pretty handy still. It's only like some, these are just some trashy green nades, and still, does something a bit fun, does something a little bit different than your standard grenade just blowing up. And there's tons of different stuff like that with grenades in this game. Like, there's lots of variety in terms of how they work. You get ones that teleport, ones that bounce, ones that do things like that, ones that cause like sort of fire or rain to come down from the sky, ones that do like explosions and explosions off explosions. Like, it's great. Just something like a grenade itself becomes a whole varied arsenal. There you go. You can experience that for yourself, Mr. Badmore Copy. While I open all of your boxes and take all of your positions. And this fuse box down here opens that little electric fence I got zapped on just earlier. So, just going to break into here and take all this money. And then go and see if there's anything in that little loot room. Stuff like that littered without the map. You obviously get tons of loot as it is with the game. You get tons of drops happening all the time. Tons of stuff. All these different things we're opening. No other game does this the same way. There's just constantly things to be opening and exploring. And it gives you good, the way the loot works is full. Like, you feel like you're getting something most of the time, even if it's just the ammo. It's just like you get like a pile of ammo and stuff. You're constantly just picking things up. A load of mods that don't apply to me. And oh, there are a couple there that do apply to me. So let's get rid of a few of these bits. And we're going to go here for the stuff that's of lowest value, because then if we do sell stuff, yeah, might as well ditch the tinderbox. And then if I do want to sell stuff, I'm just going to get as much as I can back. I can't use either of those at the moment anyway. I'm just going to leave Krieg's mods there. But yeah, you're constantly opening things and then constantly picking up stuff off of enemies. And then you get big chunky loot boxes everywhere, which for most games, like a Destiny or something, that's like your end of mission reward. In this game, you're picking stuff like that up every few minutes. And then you get extra rooms like the one we just opened on top of that, and then there'll be hidden rooms of extra loot. It's just a loot fest. And that is just one out of 1,000 reasons why I just love these games. I mean, in a way, it does tie into something else that I find that Apex is one in particular. I find because it's now got quite a nice system for pinging. I find that it's not just the fact of you controlling your player and doing all the things you need to with your mobility and your gun and collecting all your items you need for that. But the addition of having to also call out commands and do your pinging stuff, it ties into, you know, how active your brain is while you're playing that game, because you're having to do all these additional commands which count into sort of your hand-eye coordination, your awareness, and all the rest of it. That is pretty effective. I do quite like that incendiary addition to my grabby orb. Where'd you go? You are not getting away, buddy. Not a chance. I'm trying to think what the next gun on my list should be. I have not had any legendary drops today. I haven't had any blue drops or purple drops yet today. So we're going to keep our eyes open for the loot. Yeah, I'm trying to think what my next main weapon potential weapon drop will be. Whether that's a quest reward one that's going to be my next good gun that's going to be really handy, or if I've got a drop off of a boss or something. I'm trying to think chronologically what it'll be. Another little pause here in the jail cell. These pipes across the top of me are a walkway, so we've got another vault symbol in that control room up there. And then we've also got some boxes to loot on the walkway. And if we do, I think the electricity box is up there as well. Or the power box, rather, if you want to think of it like that. Which will allow me access to this little room here. And I need to climb this ladder for those. It's quite a, I found it quite interesting looking back at some of my recent Borderlands footage on my phone, and it just sort of strikes me like how good a lot of these environments look. You know, even now, years later, just the colours and the way they used lighting and everything else. Just I don't know, it just looks really good. Now there is a puzzle to doing this. That's how I get that door open, but I can't actually remember what the puzzle is. I think maybe it's just turning them all red. Let's get that symbol. Maybe it's just turning them all red. I mean, I guess it would make more sense for them to be all green. But, yeah. I remembered right. I'm happy with that. Green, green, green. Gotta have your greens. Like, and that's an interesting point. I'm sort of joking there about, you know, eat your vegetables. But the actual constants in this game of each different color rarity of guns, them all being weapons you can use, but the rarity really playing into how much you will want to use a weapon. And games like Borderlands 3 and Destiny 2 and 1, but Destiny 2 probably is the worst offender.
This'll just take a second.
You end up with all purple guns, so that's legendary in Destiny, and exotic is their gold. You can only carry one or equip one exotic weapon and one exotic piece of armor at a time. But other than that, you're only ever going to run legendaries and exotics. So there's no reason to even look at any other loot rarity, and you don't really see it after a certain point anyway. So all you will get is purple drops 95% of the time, or okay, that's low. Let's say 99% of the time, and then an exotic now and again, which don't have a great deal of variety to them at all. Borderlands 3, same thing. You do have the blue rarities and you do have more colours drop, but you're not going to pay any attention to any of them, because in that game the the drop rate for their legendaries, which is the gold or orange color guns, is so crazy high that their loot system has basically been a joke since launch. And unfortunately, that is one of the things that really did ruin Borderlands 3 to an extent. Borderlands 3 is a fantastic game, but it should have been massively better if it had properly implemented a system for the loot that was closer to what they have in this game, because this is very good system and it adds into the enjoyment. When you just get just powerful, like, not that they were necessarily powerful, but just one rarity type of gun, and that's all you need to look for. It's just boring. You know, there's so much that companies could do, with very little thought to increase what it should be, because you should have the rarity difference so that you understand the difference between the guns, but to have it so that there's no purpose in those is silly, because a negative find is still a find. You know, you need to have, you know, stuff like this to pop up to fill things out, but you don't want it to be, you don't want to only ignore them, which is why the blue rarity guns in this with the red flavor text help a lot, because those legendaries and purple, which I've forgotten what epic is, what purple is counted as in this game at the moment. But so you have at least those, but then you also have pearlescence that come into the game at a later stage, and then you also have like pink or iridium sort of guns. So you end up with a lot of different things that you're looking for, and games should really lean into that even more. So say you've got a situation where you're far enough in the game where greens have now kind of become defunct. They should have it so you should have, like, you could get a green drop, but it would maybe have some, like, different way that it looked, or something that was a specific modifier to it. And the game could be like, oh, the bandits have been tinkering with this tech, and it turns out that some, you know, low rarity guns could actually have additional effects or something. And so you get a green gun that maybe has like a gold line on it or something like that, something to highlight that there's something a little bit different about it. And then it could maybe be like, I don't know, just there's a percentage chance that the gun's going to fire a crazy amount of bullets, like for seemingly no reason, but it's going to just mean that that gun that's now basically a non-runner could have some purpose, and it means that you are still looking for, you know, you are looking for things within this other rarity, which just expands the experience and just means that you have more options to play. I've probably explained that terribly poorly. I am quite tired and stupid, but I'm sure that you understand the point. And if you don't, then hopefully in time I will explain that better, because I have a number of different videos that I'm working on, intend to expand on concepts like that and be more concise and clearer about what I'm getting at. Like in terms of analysis? See, I am tired. Analysis of, you know, different titles that are currently out there, the sorts of things that are affecting gaming and the sorts of things that are positive for gaming, theory crafting on stuff to come in gaming. There's all sorts of things I'm going to be looking to talk about and go through. I am spacing out. We're going to get the game to this point where we have the opportunity to save Roland. We're going to milk that for the second location, and I think that will be the plan for today. We're going to get Roland saved, and then we get back to Sanctuary after that. So I'll probably get back to Sanctuary and try and run the first set of conversations that then lead out of that. And then that will do. What's up, Marcus? Ah, see, so we were talking about pink or iridium guns. So this is sort of exterior of the normal color coding system in the game. And that's just an extra. I can't use that at the moment, but those guns are just kind of... They're meant to just have weird kind of shooting patterns to them and things that are a little bit different. So the sort of base concept of what I was trying to describe just now is already semi-implemented within those. The way the spawning works for robots in this, I don't think I've said about this yet. I may have touched on it, but I'm going to repeat myself because it's so cool. But I've never known any other game to do this kind of system, where it literally shows you like the enemies flying in. It's obviously just a clever way that they've laid it out, but the idea that these robot troops are being sent directly from the space station to our location is just an incredibly cool premise, incredibly cool idea, and to just sort of see that happening while you're playing. I cannot think in, you know, the years I've done gaming, I can't think of a proper equivalent for that, and it's just, yeah, it's just a really cool mechanism to have. Now, my VAULTZILLA radar is doing something. I kind of feel like maybe there's another symbol around here. I might be being totally wrong on that. Oh, wait a minute. I know where it is. I do know where it is, and it is near here, but it's not behind that column. Unless there's one behind that column as well. If that's true, and you know, let me know. It is under the ramp, just across as I come in here. Such a cool thing. I'm pretty sad that there wasn't some... I don't think there was ever any kind of equivalent idea like that in Borderlands 3. Maybe on some very small scale, but not in the way that it's used in this game. You have to forgive me if I keep mixing up words like 3 and 2. I probably don't even know that I'm doing it, and I'll probably do it over and over again because my brain has the ability to switch things like that with me on the fly, and I'll be saying 2 in my head, but the word 3 will be leaving my lips. This, like, the guys crawling around when they're down and you can knock their body parts off, like, so much detail just to simple things. A little switch on that. You wait there. Get zapped. Oh, I'm gonna get caught up by these guys now. You are a prime target for me to take out. Get out of the picture, because you're ruining my fun. Stop. Mayor time. I mean, it's effectively the head, but the little slightly different positioning of the red dot on the mechs, the robots, indicating their crit spot. Some of those are quite varied. There we go. There's the symbol we were looking for. We've got another little rank there. I think I'm going to take that up. Actually, I'm going to have that on as well, because that's quite handy, particularly as I get downed a lot, because I'm really, really terrible. And there we go. A bit more on my badass rank. Okay, we're pushing through here. We're getting closer to Roland. I'd like to go through this way. but I cannot. Nice big statue. So I don't think they ever explain this. I think maybe it comes into sort of more of side questy stuff, but these guys have, or the group of people that's meant to be here, have all these big statues of Marcus, because effectively he is the provider to many of these sort of tribes and gangs, like in the outskirts of Pandora. And so this is meant to be a group that literally idolize him like a god, because he is the guy that has all the arms, literally on the statue, but you know, in terms of armaments.
Stay still.
So I'm not using that nearly as much as I should. And at the end of this little section, there is the biggest statue of Marcus, and that one, you can sacrifice guns to it, or other players, with the intention of getting a goodie or two. So we'll chuck some stuff in there. I can't remember whether it works with low-level guns, but most of what I have is fairly low, so let's put this splasher on now, change that for my shotty, and I can take a more powerful sniper, and we're going to use that incendiary one. Oh, and I probably can equip a class mod as well. Oops. Fire rate, or... okay, well, we're using the Lasco a lot, so I think I'm going to stick with boosting that. And then we've now got corrosive. That probably would have been better to have on earlier, because that's going to give me a lot of bonus damage to the robot enemies. All of the burn types in this game are really meaningful. In a lot of games, they don't really do it properly. In this game, if you pick the right burn type for the right enemy, so whichever one is sort of intended to be the most effective, so fire against fleshier enemies, corrosive against more metallic enemies, etc., then it really does make a difference to how quick you can churn through those enemies. That it makes you a better player, more effective Vault Hunter. And then they take that to another extreme in playthrough 3, where things really start to get super fun. Because in playthrough 3, the element slag, which the game uses, is far more of a big deal. So I think in playthrough 3, I think it's 50%. So if you slag an enemy, you basically apply a debuff to them, which then you can apply the rest of your damage to. And so I think the slag will give a 50% damage buff, so you want to really be constantly keeping a slag weapon in your rotation of guns so that you can get the most out of that. I'm going to read your comment in just a moment. I just want to get this fight on the way so that we can waste a bit of time and he can escape. And I want to make a point right now. He's getting away because I'm letting him. Yeah, none of this afterwards like, well, you didn't do it when you could. Letting the rest of Pandora know this is a choice. Ha! Oh, I certainly appreciate you offering my channel a promotion. Try not to accidentally do too much damage to the constructor in the background. Should be a chest up here as well. I'm going to try and sneak and get this while we're... well, not really sneaking, is it? But jump up there and do that while we're killing time. No, don't you go and down me and fly off when I can't shoot you. I have to deal with them. Yeah, I'm shooting at Roland. Look, see? You'll be out in a minute. Oh, my gun jammed. Oh, that's right. I changed my nade. That still worked. So this is the other side of that door that I was poking my eye through earlier, trying to be funny. Trying to be the keyword. Looking down from the dam here, like these are some areas you're going to be visiting later on. So that's really nice to just sort of see that, as I'd mentioned before. That's a very specific city that you're going to go to later. Whoops. Sightseeing, that's how they always get me. Put that shield down. That did not bounce in the direction I meant it to. I'm doing it, Lilith. I'm doing it. He's gonna be okay. This is where I'm gonna find out that, like, maybe they changed this and it doesn't exist anymore, and we're just gonna sit here for half an hour, and we're not gonna make any progress on this. And then we're not also not gonna get the thing that I'm trying to get. Obviously the big Marcus statue. So, you mean they could have just left that completely static as well, but they've bothered to set that up so it's got the arms moving. All very cool. Just fun little extra details in the environment. I'm gonna rinse through all the armor here. Maybe I should be taking this more seriously. Maybe I'm gonna, not even be able to do a false fail. Thanks. Oh look, loads of effort. You're gonna be out in a jiffy. I don't know why it's not registering. Oh no. Alright, so there we go. We got that to trigger. Still gonna help myself to this loot. Loot.
I'm sorry, condescend. It's a word that means talk down to. You got that, kitten?
Thank you. No, I was unclear on that. I appreciate it. Okay. That's that done. Just have a little look around here. What's that bit of geometry I'm poking out? Yeah, what is that? Oh, that's the thing that Roland has... The constructor's on the top, with Roland in the top. And they've gone onto the barge, and the whole barge has flown away. I just thought the constructor just flew away with him. I didn't realise that you could literally see the whole thing happening, because this area in the background here is the dust with Ellie. So that's literally... Even if the game didn't tell you there explicitly what was going to happen, you could actually just work that out from how much they bother to show you. It's literally flying all the way to the location and showing us. That's... Wow. The extra little details. Whee! I had to. Okay, so we need to go back to Ellie, and we can do that without any undue fuss. What's up, girlfriend? Grab a car. Oh, wait, check for the Gwens.
Oh, what's in the box?
There we go. So we can now have that one as well. Oh, whoops. No, we can't because I've got loads of things in my pocket. Do a little clear out quick.
You won't find better merchandise anywhere else.
I don't need any of this trash anymore. I'm going to keep that sniper there. Because now I have a nice little selection of fair weapons. So they should do me okay for this next bit. Oh no, that was the sniper I was just using. Is that the one I want to keep?
Let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah, that's the one I want to keep. But yeah, so we got the Gwens on, and then we've now got the splashy blaster, and then we've got our Lasco still in effect. Okay. Back in a minute, Ellie. Got no time for you fools. Whoa. The aim assist there, though. Too much. They just need to ask you a question when you come into a game. They just need to say, have you played a video game before? Yes or no? And if you say yes, you can have a very small, minute amount of aim assist on a controller. That just, you know, helps with the fact that you have such a small circle to actually control from. But, you know, you can say, no, I haven't played a video game before, and then they can just, you know, have the game drive itself for you.
Welcome, customer.
No problem.
Don't have
Okay, actually, what was my
welcome to my humble shop.
ammo situation? Let's just get my
Nothing like a good save.
SMG up to snuff. I guess we'll lead in with a bit of Gwen's head here. It's a pretty standard little pistol. It's a pretty cute little gun. But yeah, I think you got single shot from hip. I mean, and this game was doing it long before anyone else bothered doing this sort of thing, like alternate fire modes because of how you're doing it. So I get a burst like that if I look down scope, or if I'm hip firing, it's just single shot. You know, just different ways to play, different choices for combat. It just allows there to be just so much, just sort of playing around and just doing it your way, just tinkering all the time, and it's great. Oh, I made a point saying this was a slag gun earlier as well. I made a point about the slag thing. It's not slag. It can come in different burns, so some of them will be slag, and I definitely have it in my head as that being one of the main, like the main one I often go for, because that does help. Just in playthrough 1 and 2, I think you get a little bit of a debuff to the enemy, so you get a little bit of bonus damage if you use it straight afterwards, and it's the big chunk is in playthrough 3, but still handy. But this one here is what you would consider just kinetic or just plain vanilla. So it's going to just hit pretty hard, but generally across the board, rather than being a good one for dealing with robotic enemies or you know, humans specifically, it's just going to do okay damage on everyone, which is a-okay, because we've got a bit of everyone around here. I've got another vault symbol in my head. That is just along here behind some crates, I think. So we're going to work towards that while we're working towards Roly. Oh, got a fan club. That drone's probably going to take me down in a moment if I don't pay a bit of attention. Great little comedy lines, like, dropped all the time in this game from the enemies. Just really just silly, just satirical stuff. But just keeps it all kind of, just keeps it fun, you know? No fall damage, lots of jokes, tons of toys to play with, like nice visuals, crazy little areas. You know, it's everything a game should be. Is that your grenade or mine? through there. Behind this crate. Behind this crate. There we go. Another vault symbol. Oops. Take my own path away. Handy. Pop, 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 pop. He's a badass. Oops. Wrong target. But, no matter. We'll just take everyone out. Yeah, have some more caustic grenades. You guys will love those. Oopsie. That's probably a little bit beyond what I should be doing. Come back! I'm not done with you. Whoops. Well, there you go. Have you been to this area before, though? And did you know that it could happen? Plant life there that can also be weaponized. Handy. A bit of a taste of things to come when we actually get up to more main Hyperion areas. Last guy still doing great work. Despite that now being a level 8 and we're 12, so and these guys are 13, so 5 levels below, and still doing a great job because it is a great gun. That's interesting. Something has just gone funny with my audio. Is that me? Or is that the game?
No!
I'm going to get this cleared and just find out where that audio issue is. Suck on that. Right. Now we need to actually get this war den down. I don't believe he can go off anywhere else from here, but we're not going to risk that. We're going to get this nailed. Oops. Bounced all over the place like a pinball. There we go. And this is specific for another mission you'll come back to later if you can still hear me. Right. Just gonna see if I can sort out what this audio issue is. That seems like that. What? That's interesting. Well, that seems to have fixed my audio, but now I don't have the ability to use my controller. And I'm not sure what the buttons will be on here. And that feels like it's trying to do my controller controls anyway. That does not feel like a keyboard input. Whoa! It's gonna do it anyway. Oh, Roland, I forgot to talk to you. I was too busy doing whatever this is. Whoa. I'm not even sure what this sensitivity is going to be. I'm pretty sure this is it taking like maximum sensitivity because my controller is on maximum sensitivity. Uh-oh. Definitely not a good way to control your character. Alright, you can come back. Come back here. Where'd you go? Right. Sup, dude? Nice.
Thanks. Meet me back at Sanctuary. I got a plan to stop Jack, but it won't work without you.
You saved Roland. This planet's been waiting for a hero like you. Thank goodness Jack didn't send Wilhelm.
Now, what is my menu button? We won't worry about ranking up. We're just going to drunkenly try and make it back to Sanctuary. Maybe put on a gun that's going to be a little bit more sensible if I have to deal with anything. Let's go with the old reliable. Make life a bit easier. Oh dear. Got stuck on your head. That counted as a 20 bounce.
Guns dry.
Probably not getting back from there. Anybody want... Ooh. Is there a drone when you need one? Checkpoint! Oh. Lyuda. Is that Lyuda quest? Ludamilia? The most lewd gun in the game. Right. I don't have a fast travel here, so I do have to go back to Alley before I can make it to... Controller wanna worky? Let me see if I can just do a little cheat on that. No, that's fine. I'm quite enjoying this insanely drunk mobility anyway, so... Sick 360's bird. What's boost when you're in a car? I feel like it should just be the sprint button. That would be logical, wouldn't it? But it is not. There we go. Ah! I'm okay. I'm a trained stunt driver. I think I was better at the controls using the drunken mouse and keyboard setup there than I have been with my controller stuff. And before I stop, it's becoming tradition to do a little change of style. Ready for the next one? Although I didn't do that this time, did I? Whoops, my bad. I still think that's fine though. What do we want to go for here? It's pretty fun. Lots of colours. Whoa. My mouse is throwing that off. Oh, that's an OG. Let's do a bit of that. Okay. Let's go find the man. Tannis? Hey guys, what's going on in here? Is Roland here? Are we safe? Yes, we
How the
are.
hell did those bandits snag you anyway?
Table.
I was taking a leak. One of them knocked me out.
Wow, you are a dumbass.
Yeah, yeah. Total dumbass.
I was joking, dude. I'm happy to see you.
Oh, thanks.
This is where you say you're happy to see me too?
Oh, right.
Happy to see you, Lilith.
Good to see you.
Smooth.
Are you happy to see me too? Oh, Don, she's looking. Ugh. Hey guys. E.
Handsome Jack is gonna kill us all unless you can stop him.
He means hi. That's his way of saying hi.
Right. Sorry. Hi.
Hi.
I'll be honest, soldier. We're losing this war. We've been trying to stop Jack for years, taking out his men, raiding his iridium mines, but it hasn't been enough. But you met Jack and lived. You fought off the Rippers and
Sometimes you just get
saved my
lucky.
ass and Lilith's.
Thanks, by the way.
If we're gonna survive this, we need your help, Vault Hunter. Now we
Okay.
thought Jack wanted
The,
to vault and use its power
ooh.
to wipe us off Pandora. But
Controller's working again. How mysterious. See now, this is something that's always been a great mechanic with the Borderlands games. That I can just wander off and go about my business. And the game is smart enough to keep the conversation going on the side of my screen. Which is cool, because it means I can get on with admin.
Cache of weapons. It's a living thing.
Just another thing on that list of 1,000 good things about this game.
Enough to destroy all life on Pandora. Whoever awakens it.
What you will?
dangerous to go alone,
Sounds bad.
If Jack wants the warrior, yeah.
Somebody
First.
Maybe that helps you.
Could use it to wipe Hyperion off the map. Alright, I'm liking
That'll
this
do,
plan.
pig.
There's a problem. We need the vault key to wake the warrior, and Jack's already got it.
Means I can keep playing the story and still feed my crippling gambling
Vomit
addiction.
When she saw you, did she? She does that sometimes.
She might have told you the key needs to be charged.
Just
with
kidding, I don't gamble. I don't think that's a good idea.
Every ounce of that stuff that Jack mines from the ground puts him closer
Except in
to
here.
taking control of that warrior and wiping us out. We gotta get our hands on that vault key.
Come on,
Now,
give me some
anybody who knows
love.
that key's being kept is my spy out in Tundra Express. He's as good at gathering intel
Some for
as he
you.
is at drinking. So I'm sure he's sleeping off last night's booze right now.
Full
Get a
cherries.
fire weapon to wake him up. I'll explain when you get out.
Okay, so you probably didn't hear that because of me talking gibberish over it, but we are going to meet up with Mordecai, another one of our
Have a fire weapon? Marcus might
friendlies, getting the band back together, ready to take on Handsome Jack and Hyperion. So that will be our next goal next time. Is there anything else I want to do here while I'm faffing around? No, I think I'll just sell those few bits of trash I just got out of the machine there while I was wasting monies. Get rid of those. Anything I want to upgrade to there? I don't need that one anymore. I've got the corrosive. I don't think I'm going to use that. Then I'm running that. Oh, did I change that by accident? I did change that by accident. Badass token. Damage. And we're going to go... we'll go with the fire, because that's going to be relevant next time as well. So that gets us a little bit kitted out. And yeah, we'll use this as a home base for the next time. So that's going to be it. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks thanks for supporting this stream. If you want to see any more stuff like this, please do jump in and watch me next time. And we will be going to find Mordecai. Thanks again. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.